Yo, what's up, Rotogrinders? Dean here, Dean78904. That is daily fantasy handle around the industry. I just realized I had a big, fast-paced intro. And I'm like, wait, slow it down, Dean. We can chill on this one. It's not a 13 gamer like yesterday was.
Slow down. I just want to get to know you. Anyway, that's a Jagged Edge.
You don't have to tell me that.
Okay.
Oh, you kind of did, though. No.
Okay, excuse me, Dean.
No, I've heard of Jagged Edge, but I didn't know that was Jagged Edge. We were playing Shazam. But like, if you gave me like options, it's like, is that Jagged Edge or like the Backstreet Boys? Yeah, Jagged Edge. All right. Yeah, so it's a 3-gamer today, Will. A 3-game slate. Tomorrow, 11-gamer. Yesterday, a 13-gamer. The most important information we don't have just yet. It's in the 10 o'clock game. Doubleheader as far as TNT. I believe the first game on TNT is Phoenix and Dallas, 7:30. That's why we're on late. What's up, YouTube? Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Do turn on those notifications. Do participate in the conversation today because we have plenty of time to go off the board.
It's shenanigans alert.
Shenanigans. Not just that, but like the other day we had somebody
listen. Tell Yappy don't hate on my singing. Listen, I actually can sing. I'm eating and singing right now, which is me playing around. If you must know, Yappy, I'm actually a skilled musician. Thank you, Bobby Valentino. I absolutely got it wrong with J.E., but yeah, it is Bobby Valentino.
It wasn't Jagged Edge.
Thank you, Ramazan. Absolutely correct. For those of you that don't know, my degree is in music, actually. I
didn't know that. So you play drums, right? Don't you play drums
and keys?
Oh, I don't want to slight you.
So tell Yappy, and Yappy's now laughing. This is going to be an interactive show. Everybody chime in. In fact, drop in the chat your favorite R&B throwback from your generation. If you do that, we'll start trying to guess how old these guys are. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Drop your favorite throwback R&B song. Let's get it on today.
Yeah, that's my favorite song, actually, ironically. Let's get it on. Who is that? That is Let's Get It On. I don't know why I'm singing now. I'm a terrible. I don't pretend to sing. I can't play the keys. I can't play nothing. But
Tony. Hey, Dean, just turn off any type of analysis you have. Let's just hang out with the chat for an hour. Tony. So I'm gonna give you my favorite one from Tony Turn.
By the way, Tony is they're 42. I'm guessing their age.
Okay, let's go there. Yeah, I was early 40s, late 30s for sure.
Okay.
My favorite from Tony Tone is Anniversary. That's one of my favorites. It's our anniversary. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah, Flores Mart. In fact, Flores Mart has been in the Blitz 5-man. So shout out to Flores Mart. Santos, keep sweat, make it last forever. Yes. In fact, man, I might even crank up my YouTube.
Oh no.
And we can have some of this playing.
Well, Devin, we can't get copyright stricken. We can't just play.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Devin, are we going to get in trouble if we crank up some of these tunes like a snippet? When I say a snippet, like a little snippet of the chorus.
I mean, if you got a hot finger, you can get us maybe three seconds on that. But yeah.
I see TLC in the chat. T-Boz,
somebody
Left
said
Eye
no
Chili.
scrub. Trey Songz. Okay, so Gamble, if he really likes Trey Songz, I'm gonna say he's mid-30s. Trey Songz has got to be I think he's mid-30s. Oh, okay. Dean, I'm sorry. This is getting fun. You might have to cut me off. M, Spread Sock 16. Oh, Gamble's 19. Trey Songz. Okay, Gamble. Brian McKnight, Anytime.
40s. Gotta be 40s. That's a throwback.
Anytime. Yeah, I can't sing. I'm playing around right now. Casey and JoJo, All My Life. That was his school's prom song. I'm going to say 35. Come on, Casey. Prove me right here.
I'll take
Casey
the over on
Douglas.
35. I would wager on that. I'll take over on 35.
It was his school's prom song. I'm going 35.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's kind of a clue, but also I suppose the prom song could be like 10 years old at the same time. Yeah.
No, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I think our senior song, is like, Don't You Forget
over
About Me.
35. Casey Douglas, over 35. All right. Okay. Oh, Yappy still got no scrubs going on. He's now quoting lyrics. This has turned into Shazam. Ladies and gentlemen, live on air. All right, Dean, I'm going to give you the show back.
Hey,
this is fun, guys.
We can turn this back to sports, by the way. T-Boz, Left Eye Chili, Lisa Left Eye Lopez famously burned down her boyfriend, Andre Rison, the mansion. Remember that?
Yeah.
There you go.
I do.
There's nothing.
Ramos and Barry White, Karen White. Man, I'm gonna go. I don't think Ramos in his 50. I don't believe that. I think he's a cultured youngster. I'm gonna give Ramos in 40. Commodores, eat like Sunday morning.
That's old school, man.
Ooh. Okay, let's get. Man, see, Ramos in his. He's tricky
Sisters
here.
with Voices, SWV.
Yeah, because I feel like Ramazan should be 50s, 60s, but I think he's just cultured. I'm going to give Ramazan 43, and let's see how close I am. Come on, Ramazan.
Thrown out Kanye. Oh, no, it's just Karen White. I read Karen White as Kanye West.
No, not Kanye. Not Kanye.
It's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like Barry White,
okay.
the Commodores, and Kanye. That's
you made me
different
want
generations.
Do you know what I will start a new relationship? I'm trying to guess Sean. Sean, I'm going to give Sean 49. Okay. Yes. I'm going to give Sean 30. Let's go 37 on Sean. Let's go 37. Let's see how close we are.
YouTube chat, if you're curious, where is this chat? where are these people talking? Where is Will reading all these things? It's in the Rotogrinders Discord channel. Rotogrinders.com/Discord. Go to the live chat channel. It's actually not
Sean?
The live stream chat. And go join the conversation. We have plenty of premium channels here at Rotogrinders. This is not a premium channel. This is for the people. It's for anybody. Join the conversation during the show. We're going to be talking the slate, of course, in a second. We're taking our time, having a good time because it's only a 3-gamer, and we will get
only a 3-gamer.
Plenty of time. Yeah, we'll knock it out. No worries. We're not just going to sit here and talk music all day.
We can though. Listen. I love this chat. I love you guys. This is fantastic.
I don't know who Minnie Ripperton is. Should I be aware of Minnie Ripperton?
Ghost Town DJ is my boo. I think that song came out in the 90s. That one came out in the 90s. I think of you. I'm saying because I'm trying to guess the year. Like I'm taking myself back into like a childhood memory.
Sure.
I think that song came out in maybe 90, 96, 95. So I'm gonna say that's Mark. I'm gonna say Mark Flores is like. See, I feel like everybody's in my age range right now because of these songs, but I gotta remember I know a lot of old songs. I'm gonna go Mark Flores. Let's go 36 on Mark. 38. Okay, close.
Boyz II Men, I'll Make Love to You.
Yeah,
that's like
you know that one.
That's a 41-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, 41. I feel pretty good.
Yappy wants rap. Talk about Master P. The nah.
And again,
I know that too.
Tying it back to sports, Master P was whose agent was he? Ricky Williams' agent?
Didn't he? Master P played for Toronto, didn't he?
Yes, I think he played a little bit of ball.
He played, for the Toronto Raptors temporarily.
What was his?
41 is correct.
Did I nail it? Look, I nailed it. I just won more Showcase Showdowns. Well, there you go.
All right. This is good, folks. We might need to bring a little bit of trivia in for some of the, I guess, trivia in terms of talking about stuff like this on some of these small slates. I've thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah. Oh, and also, we didn't do it yesterday. We typically do it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. At least we have been. When you partake, when you join the conversation here in the live stream chat. And again, this doesn't have to be throwing out songs, throwing out names. That's fun too. But, anything, whatever's on your mind regarding the slate.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, man.
General strategy and such. Devin, producer extraordinaire, not only is he pulling those questions, he's going to be joining the show later on. He's giving away 1 week free of RG Premium, not just basketball, not just one sport, all the sports, of course, football around the corner, $1 million contest going down. So yeah, just join the conversation, jump on over here, rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel, which is of course right below Chiefs Prop Shop, which I presume, has that been happening today, the prop shop?
Yeah. I mean, listen, Prop Shop's been having fun. We have fun every day though, man. So many great people in there. What I appreciate about the Prop Shop is everybody contributes. I mean, I love it, man. I love it. So here's what, Dean, I'm going to give everybody, I want them. So I have a favorite old school artist. Okay. I have a favorite old school artist. I have a favorite, and I'm going to give you a specific group. I have a favorite neo soul artist or R&B. Okay. Let's go neo soul R&B. And I'm going to keep it there. So let's see if the people can guess my favorite old school artist.
Maybe that'll be the winner. Maybe that'll be whoever wins the week free of RG Premium.
Let's do it. Can we do that, Devin? Is that cool? All right. So whoever guesses my favorite old school artist wins a week, and then can we do a second week, Dev?
Executive decision.
Cool. So whoever guesses my favorite old school artist. Okay. So I don't know. So look, M Tread has already got my favorite neo soul artist. It is a Music Soul Child. So he went to free week. He's done. He went to free week. It's done. I don't know how he knew that, but he knew. Now my favorite old school artist, I think, is going to be hard because I haven't mentioned them at all. So whoever guesses that gets the other free week. 1, 2, 3, go. Let's get it. My favorite old school artist, I mean, he's the man, pretty much. Charlie Wilson is a good one, Rocco, but it's not Charlie. That's a really good one.
I like that somebody nominated Rex and Effects.
Come on, Warren G. Oh, Michael Jackson is another good one. Not him. Marvin and Keith are great. Not them. Speaking of which, if you guys are
famously sung the national anthem at the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, Luther's good, not him. Speaking of Keith Sweat, if you're in the Keith Sweat tank, listen, okay. Oh, man, M. Tread got it right again. I don't believe this. It is James Brown. Yes,
it is. Chalk, James Brown. Godfather of Soul.
It's not chalk. No.
It's chalk.
No. That's not chalk.
He's super popular.
It is. How did he, man? So, Devin, how does this work? Does he get 2 free weeks or does he get 1 week? I don't know. He gets them both.
This is quite a conundrum we found ourselves in.
Maybe he can give somebody else if he wants to.
Here's what we'll do. Okay, so we're going to go down to my second favorite artist for this one, for old school.
What is going on in the show?
No, this is fun. Sorry. So look, M. Tread, you got both right. We're going to give you 1 week for sure. I do have, let's go with my third group, okay? Because what I was going to do is go with a different category. I do have a favorite rapper. This one is going to be hard. I promise this was going to be hard. If you get my favorite rapper, that's going to be interesting. So that's the last one. My favorite rapper, that person gets a free week.
You want to give a general time frame?
In fact, Let's go maybe the next minute or so, because I know we do got to do some analysis of this slate. Yeah, we'll talk basketball. Rock Obama is the closest currently. He is close.
Most Def?
Rocco is close, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he's really close. That should tell you the category. If you realize it's Spank Johnson is close. You got the feel, right? You got the feel. He's got Rakim. Rock Obama's got Most Def. Talib Kweli is really close. All right.
Oh, I thought you had it.
No, Common is really close. They're getting really close. So if you like Talib Kweli, if you like Common, if you like
Mark. It's pretty sure.
No. Mark. If you like Most Def, you're getting close. Talib Kweli, Most Def, Common. He's in that category. I promise. No, not Dame. Yappy, not Dame. Tribe Called Quest is close. One of my favorite drummers plays for them. Q-Tip is. Oh, I like Q-Tip. It's not Q-Tip though. Oh man, this is fun, Dean. I like this. I like this because everybody's so close, but they don't. They're overthinking it. Not A-Tip either. Robinson, not Buster. No, we get further away now. Because the group of those guys is the style of his rap. That group is the style. Nope, not Black Thought from Roots. Yappy. I like Yappy, man. Oh, well, Genuine's an R&B guy.
It's not a band. It's one singular.
It's not a band. De La Soul, no. Not Jadakiss, no. Man, we're close, guys. We're so close. Jay is close, but Jay's too popular. Like Jay is the chalk. Like Jay-Z would be the chalk. Wouldn't you agree,
He's the James Brown.
No. Because there's a lot of guys in that old school group. No, not Biggie. Okay, he's newer than Biggie and Nas in that group. Sean gets the best answer. He says Todd Gibson.
Does Todd Gibson rap? I don't know.
Oh man. Guys, I want to give it to him so bad, but I think you guys can get this. This is Kendrick Lamar. No, not Kendrick Lamar, not Blackstreet. No, man, guys. Okay, they're from up north. Like, I'm gonna give you that because you got really close. When you got Raekwon's good too, but they're from up north. So think Talib Kweli, think Most Def, think Common, that style. It's a certain style, and he's a little bit newer, or was a little bit newer. There it is! Bam! Lupe Fiasco, he got it. That's Syork 01. Syork 01, Lupe Fiasco is the answer. That's literally one of my favorite rappers. That's it. I told you he was close. Lupe, good call. Yeah, good call. I mean, this was fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Lupe, man. That's my guy.
This live stream chat channel, I don't think it's ever been happening. Like, it's never been this busy, what I recall. So we got a lot of engagement here. And
listen,
don't people want some RG premium?
Yeah,
so
Kick Push was one of his intro songs. But like, if you go and listen to that whole album plus some of his other stuff, man, listen, it's literally Lupe's literally like my favorite artist. That's non-mainstream. Like, clearly Jay-Z, like I like all those other guys too. You get what I'm saying? Common is one of my favorites, but yeah, exactly. Kill Bill is on it. First couple albums, ridiculous. Hey, now D-Dot, listen, I got nothing against Nas, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Nas, but I really like Lupe. Like Lupe, I really enjoyed his music. So, and that's just me personally. Clearly, I like all the other guys because everybody's contributed to everyone's success. And guess what? It's right at 6 o'clock, pretty much. And that's true, J Fig. He has been underrated. Did get blacklisted for his opinions, I think. So I agree with you there. It's 6 o'clock, D, and I don't know how much time we've got. How much more time do we have left in the show? 40 minutes.
We got 40 minutes. We got plenty of time.
Oh yeah, okay. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. We're right on track. Devo, thank you. And I didn't mean to hijack the show. Sorry, Dean. It It was just instant interaction. I enjoyed this. Let's get it.
I think the people liked it.
Yeah.
The next 3-game slate, how doable is you bust out like your keyboard or a drum kit and start playing for us? Is that something we can do?
Maybe I could play. When I played in a group in college, it was called Freeverse, and we had a Christmas album, and we had our own regular album as well. Oh. Maybe, just maybe, we could plug in a track, and I'll make sure our manager from that time doesn't try to sue us for any copyright infringement. He won't, but that might be cool to let you guys hear some of the work I did when I was in college. We had a cool little band.
Are you on Spotify?
I'm not sure if the music's on Spotify or not. Yeah, I think I've been out of college over 10 years, but well over 10 years. So I don't even think Spotify was around at that time. Yeah. Or maybe it was. Yeah, I don't think it was. But perhaps that's something, if I can, I think I've still got the CD that we...
What is that?
No. I'm saying, when I say the CD, I mean a CD. Sorry. I think I've still got a CD.
No, I know. I'm saying I was like the CD in 2020.
I know.
Yeah.
Of our album. And the name of our album was Wake Up. It was by... the name of our group was Freeverse. And the album was called Wake Up. So if you type in Freeverse Wake Up, you probably find the album somewhere. And a good friend of ours, Nikki Smalls, was our vocalist. Quan Marshall, which is one of my really good friends from college, one of my frat brothers. He played keys and did a lot of the production. I played drums and did a lot of the production. And another good friend from college, Avery Brown, was our bass player. He of course, he played and we did some of the production. And I'm trying to think if Larry was our saxophone player. And I'm pretty sure. Yes, I'm saying, yeah, we had a pretty good little band. So check it out if you guys want to hear it before. But maybe the next time we make it, Dean, we can do that. And now you can steer us back on the rails for the next 39 minutes.
You say back on as if we ever were. We were never on the rails. The show never was properly on the rail. Oh, by the way, you and Dave Potts, Cheese and Good. Cheese is Good. You guys should do a duet one of these days.
We might have to pull something out at the RG party one day. We'll make it happen. And I'll have to see if we can rent a keyboard out to bring mine on the plane, which will suck, but that's okay. We'll make it happen.
The reason why we're stalling in this slate, it's not great. We're going to play it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to fire. Going to try and win some money. Try and win some American dollars. 3 games going down tonight in the association. 2 at 7:30, 1 at 10 o'clock. The 1 at 10 o'clock has the one that has the diciest information that we very much like to have as far as building lineups, but we're not going to have it. Almost definitely not going to have it as far as Indiana. Indiana is on the back half of a back-to-back, playing the 3rd game in 4 nights. Karis LeVert is getting the Q tag. Malcolm Brogdon just came back from injury, is getting the Q tag. He had a 25-minute restriction last night. Sabonis hurt his ankle, so he's hurt. He's officially out. He's not going to be playing tonight. Of course, Miles Turner's been out as well, too. But not knowing what the deal is with LeVert or Brogdon really severely hinders things. And again, back-to-back 3rd and 4 nights. Brogdon just coming back from injury. It is a national TV game, so like in theory, the rules are you're not all the rest players that aren't hurt on national TV, but like whatever. They gave him tags. Like one is a calf and one is an Achilles, and the Brogdon thing seems real, and we've seen LeVert rest on backs-to-back sometimes too. So, yeah, it seems likely one of those 2 rests, but we don't know. The other one that we're still kind of waiting on is for New Orleans, Devontae Graham. If Devontae Graham's going to play or not, and a lot of times you get that information an hour and a half before the game starts, which would be right now. The coaches tend to talk to the media sometimes around now, but yep, they did, and he said, game time decision. So that is not helpful. That is useless. Also, 3 games in the hole, the highest total we have is 217. That will be the Golden State Indiana game. And of course, that's the one that's most likely to blow out. We're looking at a 14-point line. And the Golden State side, of course, has the highest team total, and they have the least appealing. I wouldn't say the least appealing, but not the most appealing as far as the prices. New Orleans, New York, 209.5 is a total. Phoenix and Dallas, 216.5 is a total. So there's no game that really jumps off the page. You have salary to spend. We're going to spend it. You might as well spend it. Like the whole dollar for dollar thing, raw points probably rules tonight. And we'll kind of talk about that. And let's just kind of go Well, I looked at FanDuel and I looked at our ownership projections, right? And Julius Randle's is 60% and Luka Doncic is 50%. Like those are the two big spends tonight. Luka on DK 60%. It's a back-to-back for them as well too. Luka played I think 41 minutes or something like that last night. He's dealt with a variety of injuries this year. I wouldn't project 40 minutes. We're projecting 36. Not a great matchup, but again, he's really, really good. Matchup proof essentially. And you have the salary. We'll talk about all that. First game on the slate here, Will. It's Phoenix, it's Dallas, 16.5 is the total. Phoenix is a 2.5-point favorite. And again, Dallas is playing the back half of the back-to-back as far as who's in and who's out in this game. Well, we know DeAndre Ayton's out. We also know that Sterling Brown's out for Dallas. That doesn't really matter. They're essentially fully healthy, unless otherwise noted. We've seen Porzingis sit on some back-to-backs, and we also supposedly he had this minutes restriction, but not really. They lied. Supposed to be 30. I believe he played 33. All right. Said all that. I think the most interesting conversation in this game, Will, is JaVale McGee, right? JaVale McGee kind of like, wasn't good last time. He was outplayed by the backup Bismack Biyombo. We're projecting McGee to start once again. Biyombo, I believe they did sign the rest of the season. Jalen Smith is behind Biyombo. I think he was a DNP-CD until like the last minute or so of the game when it blew out. So you'd think that Smith is behind Biyombo. He's essentially the third center again. Well, I guess the fourth center because we have DeAndre Ayton out. So the Phoenix side, let's have a conversation as far as JaVale McGee. And typically center is good. Like, oh yeah, center. It's not very good tonight. There's Valanciunas. We'll talk about him. And of course you can play Randall at center, I believe, right? But yeah, let's talk about JaVale McGee and what are you doing? What are you doing with JaVale? Basically, is the question.
I'm actually, I may be inclined to fade JaVale, or to be honest, Dean, I could be inclined to just play him and Biyombo, right? Like, so here's what I'm saying on these small slates. To me, they're harder to cash because if you miss the one or two guys that have the upside gains, you're dead because all of them are going to be 30, 40% owned. You know what I mean? And so it's like, how do you get creative with a chalky JaVale McGee? You could fade him, right? And you could be fine and just play Bismack, who's half the ownership. Or you could just say, you know what? Perhaps one gets 27 and one gets 32. And you just split the difference and play them both, right? If you look at the last game, JaVale didn't fall off the face of the earth. He played 23 minutes. He had 8 rebounds. He had 6 points, 1 block, 2 more points, and he's got 22, and he's 4K, and that kind of pays it off. And then you've got Bismack Biyombo. He played 24 minutes, 17 points, 14 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. He's got 39 points. Well, what if Biyombo has 30 and JaVale has 25? You might be able to get away with playing them both. I think in terms of how this slate could go tonight, I'm willing to do that, right? And so what's going to happen when you do that? You're going to chew up a utility spot, which nobody wants to do because the good games come in at 10, and you're going to chew up a center spot, which nobody wants to do unless you're only playing one of them. It's not going to feel great, right? It's not going to feel great. But, Goga Batazde is down here at 3,700, but I don't know what the Indiana Pacers are going to do with him. He could play 25 minutes just like these other guys and still not get there. Like it's not like we think he's going for 30, 35, 40, right? We think he's in the range of outcomes of maybe 20 to 30, I would say. And so as a result, I don't know if I really need to lock up a util spot tonight. Like I think I can do it and be fine. I do think Jonathan Kuminga is going to grade out better than both of them because of the blowout factor. And I do think if it gets down to a blowout, Jonathan Kuminga is going to be a little bit more valuable. But guess what? He's power forward eligible. I'm still okay. So I'm inclined to almost play both of these guys, and hopefully they split and we get a 25 out of one and a 30 to 35 out of the other. And it still ends up being optimal for this small slate.
Couple things. So Kuminga, it's been announced essentially that he's the starter going forward for Green, but he might be that rare player that has the starting spot also may mop up, like you said. Like he may be both, possibly. We don't get that too often. He might be that guy. And then he's certainly popping more so on DK than on FanDuel. And I should specify it for JaVale, he's not as popular on FanDuel because you don't need him, because raw points matter, because salary is not that important. So you could just get Valanciunas, and Valanciunas is going to outscore JaVale, like most likely. The other thing is, you kind of alluded to it. I think in theory you could play both JaVale and play Bismack, and they both kind of like, we're projecting right now. We're giving a couple minutes Jalen Smith. We're giving 3 minutes Jalen Smith, and we're going for what we have. Checking out our minutes here, 23 as far as JaVale McGee, which isn't ideal, but pretty 1.3 fantasy points per minute this season, pretty solid. And the next guy is Bismack at 22. The problem is, you kind of alluded to it. You're saying that like something's going to open up on the Indiana side. So there's a value to having that spot, and like locking in 22 points at 4K might not, even though it's like fine, the flexibility matters. And if stuff goes the way stuff goes, if both Brogdon and LeVert are out, you're going to want replacement player X from Indiana instead of one of those two guys, if that makes sense. And like you mentioned, Gogo Wataze, Brissett is another guy who I think one of the Indiana bigs outscores at least one of these Phoenix bigs. I don't know which one's which. But yeah, you seem distracted. Well, what is going on? You're having way too much fun today.
Listen, I actually was distracted by the beautiful little lady walked by, and she's trying to be really quiet. And I asked her what we were possibly doing for dinner, since I have my shrimp Alfredo snack here. And she said, I don't know, yeah, she's like, I don't know. And I thought she was going to pick up my son from basketball practice. And she's like, no, I'm not going to get him right now. And then we flirted a little bit. And, that's why you caught me laughing. You don't
have to give me everything.
I just said we were flirting. That's it,
Keep some of that stuff to your... I mean, I'm glad you have a healthy
relationship. It's so beautiful, though, man. I'm so blessed. I'm just so blessed. Man.
So wow. Booker and Paul obviously are really, really solid pieces. The ownership reflects it. You have the money for it. This is stuff that wouldn't have popped yesterday. Like, for the record, none of this stuff like, oh, what a great play. This is what we have. You deal with the slate. We're all doing it with the same slate. Booker today, we're projecting FanDuel at 35%. No, Paul at 35%. We're looking at Booker as far as 27% as far as the ownership. Flip on over to DK. Booker, we're looking at 33%, 8.3K. Paul at 30%. Do you have a preference amongst the two? I mean, they're both sort of fine, and like if whichever one kind of fits, and I'm sure I'm going to play some because their raw points are going to be helpful. It's not a particularly great matchup as a general thought. DFS, pretty solid defender. I presume they're going to throw him on Booker. I'm not really sure though. Doesn't mean he's going to, maybe he can subdue it a little bit, but just trying to think of how to be different on this slate. But do you have an interest level, one distinctly different as far as Paul and Booker?
Not really. Today might be a day you can play them both. And I'm not usually in the let's play Chris Paul and Devin Booker camp, just because and this is a feeling, these aren't complete facts, right? I'm clearing that up right now. I feel like neither one of them gets there if the other one goes off, right? Like if Booker goes for 50, it feels like Chris Paul is going for like 35. Well, today that might be okay on this slate. So, maybe Chris Paul goes for 38 and Booker goes for 43-ish. And that might be just enough to get us to the finish line here. The problem is this essentially, I know this game is showing up as 216. Dean, I feel like this is an under. I don't feel like this is a 216 and a half game. I mean, in my mind, this could be a 102-98 game. And so that's what really makes me pause here in terms of how I think this game could go. It does seem like
counterpoint, though, is where you're going to spend your money. We'll talk about that because the Indiana side, we potentially could be without both Brogdon and LeVert. And I guess if one plays and the other one doesn't, the other one should be elevated. But if it's Brogdon that's playing and LeVert isn't, like he played 25 minutes yesterday on a cap, like why would they push him today? They're a team that's going nowhere. They're talking about imploding the whole roster. They're talking about potentially trading guys like Sabonis and maybe even Brogdon. Like, what would be their motivation to push their players? So, you got to spend the money. It's kind of the point. You're going to spend it on Luka, I presume. We'll talk about that soon enough. Again, not this amazing matchup, but it's there. And Randall, Pretty good matchup. I think he's one of the better studs in the slate. But go ahead, continue as far as Jay Crowder, Miles Bridges, campaign. These guys excite you at all? Probably not.
I mean, not exactly. Well, here's the thing, Dean. I feel like, and so does everybody else. I think we feel like, and I'm not trying to hop to a new game. I'm not going to New Orleans Knicks, but I feel like Brandon Ingram and Booker are a better combo than Chris Paul and Booker. Do you get what I'm saying in terms of upside? Like, I'm not saying Brandon Ingram has 60-point upside, but I feel like 45, 50-ish at the max. I feel like that's something he could achieve, where I don't know if Chris Paul's getting a 50 tonight. I just don't feel that way. So that's kind of my pullback with him, because right now it feels like Devin Booker and the scoring, they're starting to get going. He took 33 shot attempts against San Antonio. Now, I don't think that's going to happen today. But no. I mean, 48 points, 30, 35, 16, 26, 11, 33. Like, the scoring's been there. And then he's had some peripherals, right? It's not like he's scoring 35, 1-1, which feels like that used to be the Devin Booker we knew, right? You need him to score 40 points or it just didn't work. But now if he can get you, 32, 4, and 5, like, that's respectable. And hope he runs into a steal or block. Now we're kind of cooking with hot grease on a small slate where, he's not the highest owned guy. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I feel about Booker versus Paul, which is why, even though Paul's 7,500, it's like, man, Chris Paul, he doesn't score a lot anymore. He can get assists, but like the other night, he had 15 points, 12 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. But look at the games before: 13, 6, and 6. 12, 9, and 3. Like, it's not hitting that massive ceiling. He did go through a stretch with, 40, 40, 56, but all in all, I don't feel like Chris Paul is going to be a 45-point fantasy scorer this season, and especially not against Dallas and what I feel like should be probably the best defensive matchup on the slate.
So we got the 2 slowest teams playing tonight. We have the Knicks. We'll talk about them in a second. And Dallas. Dallas is the slowest team in the league, right? And not only is Dallas the slowest team in the league, but they are the 4th best team when it comes to defensive rating. The number 1 team in defensive rating is Golden State. They're also on the slate. The number 2 team in defensive rating is Dallas's opponent. So it's the number 2 defensive team versus the number 4 defensive team. Also, it's the 2nd slowest team. And that's why this game kind of stinks. But at the same time, I have the money. So Luka Doncic. How much are you prioritizing Luka as a big spend? I think so mid-tier, there's not a lot of mid-tier in this, as far as the slate. So I think you kind of have to spend up on some of these guys. As far as Luka, how much are you prioritizing Luka tonight on the Dallas side?
I mean, he's probably the number 1 stud on the slate in terms of should have the raw upside, just because in my mind, this game should be competitive. You can afford him, right? Why not go ahead and take your maybe floor of 45 points? You know what I'm saying? With upside for 65. I think that's the right call on this slate. Even if, Chris Paul goes for 40 and Devin Booker goes for 45. If Luka goes for 55, you're still going to be fine. You know what I mean? Like on this slate, I think raw points will matter. On every slate, raw points matters. But on this small one, kind of like we talked about before, where if Luka goes off for like 68, you don't have him, more than likely your night's over. You know what I mean? So you might as well go ahead and take the guy that's got probably the most upside on the slate outside of Steph Curry. I think Luka probably has a little bit more upside than Steph Curry on this slate tonight. Go ahead and take those points that are going to be baked in and then fix your lineup in other spots.
The next guy up when it comes to raw points on the Dallas side, of course, is Porzingis. The tricky part is it's a back-to-back for him. And again, we've seen him kind of baby his minutes at times. They did say 30 minutes. Kid, I guess, lied because he played 33 last night. We're projecting 31. On DK, we're looking at 27% ownership, 7.6 is a fair price, I suppose. On FanDuel, 8.5K. It's not a great math play, but again, you have the salary, and for that reason, he's 40% owned. And that's kind of sort of what Porzingis is. That Brunson's there. We prefer Brunson in the absence of Luka. Porzingis, at least one of them. That's not the case tonight. DFS should play 30 minutes or so. We can kind of scrap his way to like 20, 25 fantasy points or something like that. Not spectacular, but whatever. The rest of it's just sort of filler stuff. And like maybe you catch THJ on a hot night. Maybe he goes 8 for 11 and it's 5 threes. That can happen. Is there a way of predicting that? No. Does that seem likely? No. Could it happen? Sure. Yeah, the rest of the guys on Dallas, where are you at?
I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr. is 4,900. I mean, could work, could not. I will say this. I don't mind taking shots on guys like that at 10% on such a small slate. You know what I mean? Like, This is the spot to take those chances. The spot to take those chances is not on an 11-game slate with low floor plays. But on a 3-game slate, I would say, from a tournament perspective, this is probably, if you want to play this, get as aggressive as you can on the guys that you like. So, like, if you really like Luka, for me, Luka would probably be a lock button, right? Just don't make any lineups without Luka. If he goes for 70, you got him in all your builds, which is going to give you the upside to get to the top as the scores start climbing and rolling in. You know what I mean, Dean, right? You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah.
And then, for instance, it's not going to feel great, but then maybe you settle in on another guy, you get really overweight on another guy, and I'm hopping to, well, I'm going to stay with Dallas. Maybe you get really overweight on a Dorian Finney-Smith. So where the field is, at like 10, maybe you go about 30% on Dorian Finney-Smith, right? So now you've got 100% Luka. You're really hammering DFS here, and if he goes off for 35 and he's at 10% and you got him at 30, well, that pushes you to the front of the pile just a little bit more in some of your builds. All of them aren't going to be perfect, but remember, 100% Luka, a little bit of DFS, and then maybe on the other side, Dean, while everybody's going heavy JaVale McGee, heavy Bismack, and you did bring up Jay Crowder. I'm not like enthused about Jay Crowder. No. I mean, we got him at what, 2%? Maybe you go 20% Jay Crowder. You get what I'm saying? And now, if let's say Jay Crowder went off for 30 and Dorian Finney-Smith went off for 30 and Luka hit 65, those guys at 4K at 30 fantasy points are really valuable tonight. If you happen to hit Luka with both of those guys in one of those builds out of your script, okay, now it's like, all right, we're starting to get close. And then you maybe have sprinkles of guys from other games. And so I think that's how you play this slate tonight. Find those 1 or 2 guys that you say, you know what? I'm rocking with these guys tonight. I'm locking them in. These 2. I'm not saying you got to go 4 deep, but Luka and Steph or Luka and, believe it or not, Julius Randle. Something like, what I'm saying? 2 guys that have some upside. And if Julius Randle hits 50 and Luka hits 65, you're like, all right, I've got them in every build. I've given myself a chance to get lucky, because that's, we need to know how to build lineups, but that's the skill portion. There is going to take a little bit of luck to get you all the way to first place. And so if you're trying to do that tonight, I think that's the way you approach this slate.
Cycle through the fringe pieces, but also at the same time, leave yourself some flexibility for Indiana Golden State. We'll talk about that game in a second. New Orleans, New York, 209.5 is the total. Not a very particularly appealing number. New York is currently a 4-point favorite as far as New Orleans. We're not sure about Devontae Graham. He is currently questionable. New York, they're without Nerlens Noel. They traded for Cam Reddish. He's obviously not available just yet. Again, pulling up our ownership stuff, it kind of reflects the conversation we sort of touched on already. We're looking at, as of right now, Randall at 32% on DK, Josh Hart at 44%. He plays a ton of minutes, 36 is the projection. Valanciunas at 36%. Ingram, just, again, not a great matchup. New York, not a fun, roster, but again, raw points, and you have the salary, same sort of conversation we keep having. And then there's guys like RJ Barrett, who seems a little overpriced at 7.2K.
With Kemba back, I do think he's overpriced.
Yeah. And Kemba, he played 30 minutes in his first game back. We're projecting 32 now. You never really know with Coach Tibbs, kind of run these guys into the ground on occasion. And the thing with Graham is, I pulled up our what if and like who might benefit if Graham does not play. And we have, Alvarado we're projecting for around 20 fantasy points per DK per FanDuel. Satoransky, maybe he draws a start, maybe not, but we don't have much more projection on him either.
Can I ask you something, Dean?
Yeah.
What did Nickeil Alexander-Walker do to get in the doghouse? Like, shouldn't he be playing more minutes anyway? I don't get this.
He's missed a lot of shots. I believe he's been terribly inefficient this year. But he's been a massive disappointment this year, and in a lost year. like why not try and develop him? Because
let the guy run. What in the world? I'm very confused. I mean, Zion might as well just not come back.
Oh, he's playing 0 games this year. Like, there's no reason. There's no reason. Like, why would
I will say this. I hope Zion isn't oh man, what's the guy's name that was going to be a big time center, just had those back, Greg Oden.
Oh no.
It's starting to feel like that to me, Dean. I could be very, very, very wrong, but Zion missed a good portion of his rookie year, another chunk last season, hasn't played at all this year. I'm starting to get a little concerned.
Yeah, I'm sure New Orleans fans are as well. And who knows, maybe when he gets fully healthy, he'll be out of New Orleans anyway, which is even worse for the fans there in New Orleans. They deserve better. But that's the current situation we're at right now. And then, you could throw a dart at I don't think he's a terrible idea if we get Graham out. He's 3.6K on DK. We've seen this guy have like 40-point nights.
Right.
I'm not, again, but he's in, like you said, he's kind of in that doghouse. There's minutes have been, pulled back. You would think that I don't know if they've already decided like he's not a part of the future and he's a bust or whatever. Like I'm not really sure if that's something. And then when is his contract up? Maybe he's got a rookie deal he's still working on.
Yeah, is this his third year? I think it's his third year, right?
Second or third year. I'm not sure. If it's his third year, maybe they just this guy's just not it for whatever reason.
I will say this, Dean. I want to circle back very briefly to what I was talking about, locking guys in unconventionally. This would probably be, if I was playing 150, this would be a lot for me on Brandon Ingram tonight. Like, he's one of those guys at 8K that while everybody's playing Booker and everybody's playing Chris Paul, he goes off for about 50 tonight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a guy that could get there subtly. And so he's at 32%. If you really hammered some Brandon Ingram ownership in those Bills tonight, I think it would be and I would be willing to live with the results. If he goes off for 38, okay, I'm fine. But just on today's slate where there's so much uncertainty, I like guys that can put the ball in the hole. You know what I mean?
Sure.
A guy that can score 30 real points, I'd love to, get massive exposure to him on this slate, which is why, as we keep talking about New York, some of these New York guys I think are going to be beneficial as well.
Yeah, I was going to say they're playing up in pace. They're always playing up in pace. They're the slowest team in basketball. New Orleans not necessarily fast. They're around 20 or so in the league. And also it's important to say, like, telling a story. Have your lineups tell a story because, on a 3-game slate, game stacks to me are more important. There's less stuff that can bite you, like less things in other games, less options that kind of catch you. And again, we'll talk about game stack on Indiana side and Golden State set it up as well. But I assume you're running back Randall on the other side of some of those Ingram lineups. Who's your second favorite player as far as New York? I'm guessing you're in on Randall.
Yeah. Randall's number one. That's another one I'd probably considered a lot, but tonight, seriously, 9,100 hasn't played or hasn't really put up the ceiling games as much recently, but did put up a 56 against Minnesota. It was Minnesota. I get it. Similar situation in my book. I feel like Kemba's probably valuable at 6,100. I was really afraid of his minutes the first game back, but at 6,100, I don't hate it. I do think, man, if he can stay out of foul trouble, Mitch Robb might be the next valuable piece. If he could get to 30 minutes tonight. And he has played 30-minute games.
You got him ahead of JaVale?
What's that?
You got him ahead of JaVale?
For tournaments, yes.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like at 5,200, I don't think he's going off for 40, but he could get mid-30s and JaVale could be sitting there with 20 at the end of the night. And so I think for me, in terms of reports, I do think Mitchell Robinson is a really good play. RJ is almost a scratch off for me tonight. At 7,200, Kemba Walker back. Evan Fournier is going to be shooting some. Alec Burks, he is going to play massive minutes, right? And that might be suicide on this slate. But at 7,200, I'm willing to roll the dice on fading an inefficient RJ Barrett with Kemba Walker back. I'm willing to do that on this slate to get a little bit more leverage, right? To take an inefficient fantasy player out of my bill to maybe get some leverage in other spots.
Are you in on Josh Hart? We're looking at 46% on FanDuel, And on DK, it's basically the same. Yeah, 44% on
Yeah.
DK. Just kind of a mid-tier guy. You know, he's also can get there multiple routes. Doesn't have to score 20 points to make it happen.
Yeah.
He can.
I mean, I'm in on even at 6,300, like you said on this slate. He's kind of that raw points play, right? You're like, okay, he gets me 28 to 35 tonight. I'll take it. You know.
What about Valanciunas?
I don't hate it. 7,700. I like this Knicks game in general, right? I feel like the Phoenix game is competitive, but maybe it's a little bit more low scoring than we have. Like I said, 216.5. I think the under is in play here in that game. With the Pelicans Knicks, I think the over might be in play at 209.5, you know? So that's kind of why I really like a lot of these pieces here. Could be a good spot. Like, let's say I was going to fade Luka in some lineups, which I'm not advocating that you absolutely do. But if I was going to, I'd probably be loading up on this game, right? I'd take Ingram, I'd take Hart, I'd take JV, I'd take, Randall and maybe Kemba and Mitch Rob and piece that together and maybe have 6 guys from this game or 5 guys from this game, something like that. And then let's see where the chips fall. For me, this is my favorite game on the slate. Like in terms of total environment, I think this is the one.
All right, so the game, we want to save some time for chat as well. What up, chat? Hit that like button there if you're watching us on the YouTube. Hit that like button, do subscribe, do turn on notifications, do join the conversation over in our Discord channel. Does not cost you anything. It's not a premium channel. It's for everybody. The channel, of course, is on rotogrinders.com/Discord. The live stream chat, ask some questions. Devin's compiling them. It will join the show soon enough. All right, Indiana, Golden State. Golden State's currently a 14-point favorite against Indiana. Third game in 4 nights and back-to-back and the road, the triple threat there as far as Indiana, basically a scheduled loss. We'll see how that goes down tonight. I'm expecting Indiana to get crushed. We shall see. So is Vegas. And what makes things even worse is they're without Domantas Sabonis. They're 2 other next players as far as usage, Karis LeVert, Malcolm Brogdon, also questionable. They're also without Miles Turner. So potentially without basically their entire starting lineup. Yeah. So it's a lot of if-then stuff. And again, Brogdon last night was on a 25-minute limit just coming back from injury. I wouldn't think they would push him past 25. My personal guess is that Brogdon doesn't play tonight. Just a guess. I don't know. And we've seen LeVert sit too. So maybe they just sit on both. I have no idea. But like if that happens, of course, there's going to be a ton of value that opens up. You're going to have both, Duarte all of a sudden would rise to be a value play. Jeremy Lamb is stone minimum on DK at 3K. Brissett is a guy that can, one of the bigs they can use. I'm not sure if it's going to be him or Gogo Batadze that draws the start, but one of them in theory could be useful. They also have Isaiah Jackson who can get some run. If Brogdon and LeVert are out, all of a sudden we can see like Sykes' music or Washington could be a thing. That's why I think flexibility and leaving yourself any sort of tiebreaker. If you have a tiebreaker, take the second guy, take the guy at 10 o'clock and just kind of figure it out when you get there and leave yourself flexibility as far as forwards and guards and all that kind of stuff. Understand that's like DFS 101. Do not lock anybody in the first game, like at your utility spot. Get all that. Just understand that how important that is. As far as Golden State, we're expecting Otto Porter to be out. Of course, Draymond Green's out, but otherwise they are essentially fully healthy. I assume Iguodala's going to be back from his injury management, which is interesting because they have the highest total on the board here. Well, but because of they're the healthiest and they play such a deep rotation, really the only guy that's popping is Kuminga, 43% on DK. Next is Curry at 25%. But again, he's a stud and 25% is like the lowest amongst all the studs. I think we kind of talked about. And then Looney at 12%, Klay Thompson at 12%, 24 minutes is the projection there. So I kind of laid it out for you. Kuminga, you kind of talked about him already once or twice. The DK especially at 4-3.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Steph? Because again, it should in theory blow out. We don't know. They play the games. So what is his ceiling if this game blows out? If it doesn't, then you play Steph and Kuminga and maybe 3 Pacers that are somehow playing over their heads. If goofiness happens as far as guys being in and out, thoughts?
Well, I think you're playing Kuminga regardless, even though we have a minutes projection of 25. I think for me, I just go ahead and take it and say, okay, this is a guy that can get there. And I've seen it with my own eyes, not just in the box score, right? This is a guy that if he gets 7 or 8 minutes against the backups at the end of the game, he could go from 10 fantasy points to 30 fantasy points in a hurry. And that's a real hurry, Dean. That's not an exaggeration. A block, a bucket, a rebound, a steal, another bucket, a couple more, you know what I'm saying? And it can just snowball into a really big performance quickly. So maybe he doesn't do as well with the starters. Like when you've got Curry and Thompson and Wiggins that you have to contend with early on, maybe he's not as beneficial. But, if he can get in there and get some of these backups, I think he's got as much upside as any of these cheap plays on the slate. So I like him there.
What about Curry, Thompson, Wiggins, Looney? What are your preferences amongst those guys?
Yeah, so Curry's the better play, but I think he's overpriced, right? Like we basically need him to have one of those scorching hot games and the team to just say, okay, Curry, here you go, man. It's your night, right? At some point, and I'm trying to get a read on this, Dean, and I have no clue when it is. I don't think it's tonight, but I'm trying to get a pulse on Klay Thompson before they actually say, oh, he's playing 30 minutes, right? Like at some point, I think they're just not going to tell us, and he's going to go from 22 minutes to 28 minutes. And I'm just trying to get ahead of that. I think Klay is a guy you play tonight to try to say, okay, one, he gets really hot and drops 20 plus real points and gets a few peripherals, or two, perhaps they extend him a little bit and he gets 28 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And if he gets 28 minutes now, he's got a shot to get to the mid-30s like some of these other guys. So that's how I feel about Klay. So for me, I think it's Kuminga and Klay. Those are my top guys. And then I don't mind Jordan Poole as well, especially with what's my guy? Otto Porter. He's already out, I think. Yeah. And then Iguodala. Is Iguodala already ruled out, or is he just questionable?
He's likely to play.
He's
expected to be available.
Okay, but at the same token, Otto Porter being out, I think, does solidify some more bench or better bench time for a guy like Jordan Poole, who they'll probably just let run out there and shoot as many shots as he wants with no Otto Porter. So I like that as well.
Give me like 30 seconds to a minute as far as these Indiana guys. I think a lot of it's sort of up in the air. I don't know who's going to start amongst Gogo Batazzi or Brissett. I would say whoever is starting is more appealing. They're both kind of sort of somewhat interesting.
Lance Stevenson.
You like Lance tonight?
Listen, I think, and maybe I'm wrong because his minutes have come down, but if Brogdon and LeVert are out, I think Lance Stevenson is the best play on the Pacers, period.
Yeah, you definitely, we're projecting 10 minutes as of right now, but we're also projecting LeVert and Brogdon to be in. But those guys have to be, they got to clear the way.
For what it's worth, I don't think Brogdon's playing tonight. For what it's worth, I think on a back-to-back, just coming back from injury, he's had a real injury that's kept him out for an extended period of time in a game where they're going to lose anyway, I'm sure. Probably advantageous to keep Brogdon out. And then with LeVert, he came back from, I think, COVID, and his minutes have kind of been on the rise. I mean, he was playing before that, 38, 40 minutes a game before all of that stuff. Maybe they just take this as an opportunity to rest him and get Lance Stevenson back on the floor. But I think, leave a guard spot open. And I know I've talked about, where to play. I would for sure be leaving a guard spot open and have Lance Stevenson in there. Because his ownership, if we don't get it before the slate starts, his ownership is going to be very low compared to where it should be.
I mean, you could always play Duarte or Lamb instead. If they're both in for whatever reason, those guys are safer. Craig is not a fun roster, but he's a guy that can kind of sort of make stuff work. That's kind of what Lamb is as well too. Duarte is the best of those three. Holiday, kind of the same sort of deal. Not a fun roster, but he can kind of sort of make stuff work. I think Isaiah Jackson is ambitious, but if you're in a large field, if you want to go away from Gogo, you want to go away from Bissett. Jackson's a guy that in a blowout, he's gonna get some run for you. But I do want to bring Devin in. Devin's been compiling questions from chat. He's gonna ask him on behalf of the chat, and let's see what they have for us as far as the slate. And of course, when we finish, we make way for crunch time. Crunch time will help you sort out whatever we did not sort out, whatever we'll answer the questions, whatever we didn't answer, they'll answer for y'all. That is the premium show on Rotogrinders.com. Do check that out. What up, Devin?
How's it going, guys?
It's going all right. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Dean, did you know that today, 14 years ago, Breaking Bad first premiered?
No, I didn't know that. Wow, 14 years ago.
14 years ago to the day. Yep. Also impressive, Dean. We have 1 minute remaining after a 3-game slate. So let's knock out some questions real quick.
Well, I mean, what do we do for the first 20 minutes of the show?
Well, it's funny. A quick throwback here. Question from JFig wants to know, who's Dean's favorite rapper?
I like Biggie. It's not my genre, but if I'm gonna pick somebody, it's Biggie. He's my guy. That's kind of chalky, I suppose, but yeah.
Flores Mark wants to know thoughts on Jose Alvarado if Graham's out. 0.94 point per minute.
Yeah, we're projecting about 20 fantasy points for him, and I'm not here to pretend like I know a lot about the guy, but like he's in the pool, right? He's playable. Satoransky might start, but it's probably more of a large field thing. But you could certainly play him if you want. I don't feel great about it. That's the slate.
Sometimes players switch teams in the NBA just so sneakily. I didn't even know Sato was on that team. I thought he was still with the Wizards.
Yeah.
Cooper wants to know, what about Torrey Craig tonight? Does he have a chance to hit his ceiling? I think you guys mentioned that he's on the list.
Yeah, he's a 0.76 fantasy point per minute player, and like he's not a huge usage guy either. 14% usage. So what is his ceiling? Like he can eke his way to 30 points. He's known for his defense, right? He's like a 3-and-D guy. That's essentially what he is. Well, I mean, we're not excited about Craig, are we? Will like I might play him out of desperation if things don't crack my way, but what is his 30?
I think, yeah, and I mean, 30 points on this slate is going to be fine. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. Like he gets 30, and so for instance, like if you've played Luka and Randall and Brandon Ingram. And maybe one other guy that, and they all, let's say Luka goes for 65, Randall goes for 55, Ingram goes for 50. Then if you've got 2 or 3 guys, like let's say Kuminga goes for 30, what's the
lightning
guy's
round?
Name? Torrey Craig, it was lightning round, sorry. Torrey Craig goes for 30, then, you're set. All right, Devin, my bad.
It's all good. It's all good.
My bad.
Got a couple more. Yappy, DK tournaments. Which pacer would be the better play to choose in case of a blowout? Would you go with Craig?
Oh, I don't think Craig plays. I wouldn't assume Craig plays in a blowout. No.
Lamb or Goga?
No.
Not Lamb. Lamb's a back-to-back, and he's dealt with injuries.
Lance
Stevenson.
I think Lance is probably the answer.
All right. D-Dot wants to know, are we fading Slender Man? I had to look this up. Brandon Ingram. Yep.
I think
we both like him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's the end of the show. Before we close out, let me just remind the viewers, we have the Prize Picks Chrome extension and Firefox extension out for premium users. Download that puppy. Download that puppy.
Beautiful.
Make some money. It's easy. Puts the premium projection right there next to the player prop on the site. Get it for Chrome.
We didn't have time to get the promos in, Devin.
Chrome or Firefox, Prize Picks or Underdog.
I love that Devin he's the last person. He's the only Firefox stan I know. He has to get it in.
Oh, well,
Firefox.
I don't know about that, but
does anybody in chat actually use Firefox? Let us know, because Devin loves himself in Firefox.
It's funny you say that. I did have to download that the other day for some technical. I had to do some stuff that I was messing around testing things, and I had to download Firefox. First time in a long time.
The extension is awesome, by the way, for the record. Yeah,
it's very awesome.
And right there on the screen, I'll literally tell you right there on the screen, like if you have RG Premium, it'll tell you on your Prize Picks. Well, the number is 25.5, and RG projections 29. Well, I guess I like the over, and yeah, it's beautiful.
And I was doing that manually with our statistical projections tool.
Time saver.
Yeah, for sure. Now I still have to use it at least for Prize Picks right now for points, rebounds, assists. Like we do have it in the statistical projection. I do still have to use it there. Whereas for Underdog, it's already there, but I'm sure they'll work through that. Anyway, I hear you, Dean. We got to go. I got it.
Speaking of time saver, we got to go. We got to save some time for crunch time. That was Will and his, I look forward. And the next time we have a 2 or 3 game slate, whatever it is.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Bust out the Casio keyboard or whatever you have available.
No, Yamaha, sir. Casio's for beginners.
That's great.
How dare I insult
Suck
you?
it, Dean.
How dare you?
You've got one of those big pianos where you can jump from key to key. All right, that was
God.
Will. That was producer Devin. Do hit that like button if you guys on YouTube. Again, jump over to crunchtime or rotogrinders.com if you guys are frame members. That was basketball and other stuff. Shenanigans. Will, Devin, basketball, Dean. We're out of here. Oh!